Well, here we are again. It's always such a pleasure. Remember when you tried to kill me twice? Oh, how we laughed and laughed. And yet, I wasn't laughing. I need to forewarn both the live audience here, the YouTube audience, the people who have joined me on Discord. You should be aware it's going to be a really negative episode. If you can't handle that, if you can't handle me at my worst, it's time to go, because it's good. That's the kind of episode we're about to get. If you, and just to be clear, yes, Amore may have stomach cancer. That is probably the worst thing I have to talk about today. It's going to mostly be really petty stuff. Just really, really petty nonsense that I want to talk about. So I just wanted to preface it.
Then?
Sorry?
A normal episode then?
Wow. Okay. That's the energy we're starting with, huh?
I was confused why you were warning us about your normal stuff.
Okay. All right, okay. Lawson, I've come to accept over some introspection that I may have come at you and Savannah wrong by indicating that the two of you are scheming little shitty brats who try to take little shots anywhere that you can. In fact, I don't think it's a problem exclusive to the two of you. I feel like I've invited this upon myself because other people... Yeah, James sometimes has that dog in him as well. I feel like Mike sometimes has that dog in him. Maybe I've just opened myself up to these influences. So I'm sorry I was wrong to target the two of you exclusively. You are part of a larger group.
I mean, I wasn't taking a shot at you there. I'm just...
That's okay. No, oh, you weren't? Because it sounded like you were when you said that my normal streams are filled with petty bullshit and negativity. Anyway, Amore may have stomach cancer, and it's increasingly likely, given the series of circumstances. She was issued medication, probiotic, prebiotic. I don't really know. I mean, it's not my responsibility. My mom tried to feed it to her, and she refused to eat the stuff. So now she won't take her medication when it's added to food. She turns her nose up at it and then bats the food bowl away. She has to go to Pennsylvania to a cat stomach specialist to get scanned. And, if it's not stomach cancer, then what is it? The alternatives might not be as bad as cancer, but they're probably still going to be bad. It's a rough one. Well, she's not with me anymore. She's with my mom. So just be clear, I don't mean that she's dead. I mean that she's physically located with my mom.
Right.
I didn't want someone who was new here to be like, oh, his mom's dead and now the cats joined her. No, she's physically located away from me, which is my favorite place for Amore to be. All right, what else do we have here? Anything you guys want to talk about intro-wise before I start cooking on some really negative bullshit? We've got quite a host here today.
I've been playing in I'm still playing in several Cataphracts. Just one now, but I've been in several Cataphracts games. I don't think it's the rule set I would like to use for a strategic level BattleTech game, but I'm still having fun playing it. But I think really the only thing that makes it like special or different is that everything is processed in real time. Right? So and that's not fast, it's slow. Because your orders take time to go out to your generals. Those armies then take days to march into position and so on and so forth. But otherwise, I think that's the only thing that makes it unique.
Okay.
What about your hot wife? Your hot Valetian wife, does that not make it?
political marriages are a thing, and they have been for a very long time.
Sorry, I'm confused. This sounds like something the two of you have talked about. This definitely, until it was clarified slightly, it definitely sounded like Savannah was gassing herself up for a second.
Oh
No, I'm not the hot Valation wife.
no,
He has a hot Valation wife now.
my character in the most recent Cataphrax game I'm in married another head of state, and now, 2 out of the 5 nations in this thing are pretty solidly allied.
Okay. That listen, if you came to me and were like, "Hey, I am the opposite gender ruler of a nation. You should marry the military general war dog of another nation." I'm sitting here going, they're going to have a kid and then he's going to kill her and act as regent for the kid and turn country B into a complete vassal state of country A. That's what my immediate thought. I was like, this is an evil general plan for sure. This is not a safe political marriage, okay? All I'm saying is that generals should get married to their officers' daughters, all right? Classic Roman tradition. Who you think Julius Caesar got married to, bro?
Yeah.
You can't go marrying foreign heads of state. It's not safe for them.
Tell that to the first prince.
Yeah.
He marries.
Is there a second prince maybe to take the first prince's place when he fucks up?
No, there's he is the second prince. His brother's already dead.
I mean, he's not the first prince then. He's the crown prince.
No, the first prince is his title.
I hate that.
Stavion.
Okay.
He marries another head of state.
Listen, I'm just sitting here thinking honor's dead, but I'll see what I can do.
Not everyone has the ruthless, cutthroat realpolitik of Arthur Perkins.
I'm trying to think of how to respond. Non-realpolitik wise. Here's my answer to that. Any short-term observation of my character should factually reveal to you that you should not come to me for relationship advice of any kind, but especially romantic.
I don't know. What about your gay granddaughters?
One of them killed herself. And then I sat there and almost literally real life cried because then I went, my gay granddaughters, they killed themselves. My gay granddaughters.
I should have let them be.
I should have let them be gay. Do you see? Do you see that my realpolitik killed that girl? Yes. Once I had 40 plus children and grandchildren solidly locked into strategic marriages, sometimes with each other, at that point, one of them killed themselves rather than listen to grandpa. And I said, maybe it's time. Maybe 40 strategic marriages is enough strategic marriages. Maybe the fact that my mom is the inheritor of the Baratheon line and she's too old to have kids, so she will pass the Baratheon title to me unless she somehow magically has a kid or adopts a kid. And if she does that, I'll just have to have her murdered. Maybe once you move from owning Tarth to owning Storm's End, theoretically, that's enough. You have enough. There's enough strategic marriages, but not me. It took the death of my gay granddaughter to set me on the right path. Enough is enough. I'm trying to figure out which early 2000s song I should be referencing. I'm moving between Semisonic, Closing Time, and not technically an early 2000s song, but Wonderwall. Just because I like referencing Wonderwall because it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, that's you and Cataphracts. Got anything else going on? Your head of state wife?
Well, I haven't talked to Sven about this yet, but Mike and I have we scheduled a game of Warhammer today for this Friday. We want to play in Shadowrun.
Is this Necromunda or is this Crusade?
No, this is Crusade.
I was worried. I saw that the Crusade channel, there hadn't been any discussion for over a week. And I was like, maybe I should say something really provocative, like, oh my God, are you all dead? There hasn't been discussion for a week. And then I thought, actually, I don't care. I'm not going to post that. But it would be funny, but not funny enough for me to do it.
Yeah. So like basically, I think that the issue with Crusade is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like active members,
Mm-hmm.
and then everybody else is kind of like, oh, hey, I'll play, and then I think everybody's just busy. Like I think Connor's gotten a couple games in.
I mean, Connor's
Kane's
out for the
doing
next
great.
season, I think.
Yeah. And then like Kane and Soundwave were like, oh, let's play a game, and then they didn't play, and then they were like, all right, well, we'll reschedule, and then I still haven't played. So it's basically me, Dunamis, Omar, Grimdark James, and Lord Hunger, who are like the active members.
Yeah, none of this is a surprise to me.
Yep.
That all sounds right.
Which like Omar and I are in the same faction, same alliance. James and Lord Hunger are in the same alliance, and then Dunamis is in his the Raiders alliance with Kane and Lawson. Sorry, Lawson. Lawson's active as well.
Kane was in James's alliance.
Was he?
I'd have to
let's
double
see
check.
here.
It's been a while since I looked at the spreadsheet.
Oh yeah, Kane is in the Raiders first diplomatic expedition. Yeah.
I think Connor's in ours.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But hopefully, James has some real life friends who are going to jump in on the next one, and I might be pulling in a couple people too. So
Okay.
I'll teach Savannah how to play. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Live on stream. Savannah, what do you think? Playing Warhammer 40,000? Is it for you?
You'd have to let her get in contact with Grimdark James.
Yeah, I still unsure whether or not I'm allowed to talk to him.
That might be a deal breaker, I guess.
So what I'm hearing is I'm not allowed to talk to him. Got it.
Unless you're playing in a one shot on his channel to demo or to play.
No matter how specific you make this, we can abuse your restrictions here. James has got, I'm sure that we can get Savannah in on Grimdark James running Thirsty Sword Lesbians, Lancer, that Jane Austen game that I'm sure she'd like.
She'd probably love that one.
We could do Bitcherton, which is Bridgerton, but you have to get married. Let's see. I mean, listen, if you making it a one shot only you're still gonna get dozens of one shots out of it. Is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Plus, if I've seen actual plays that are like, this is a one shot, and then it's multiple episodes, and I'm like, that's not what a one shot is. But all right, I'm gonna let it slide because it's not worth arguing with somebody about. Oh, well, Savannah. Speaking of Savannah, you got anything going on this week?
I'm just working away on a new sweater
Cool.
up to my girlish little crafts.
Okay.
Wishing I had more friends that would do girlish little crafts with me.
Okay. I don't know that knitting is specifically a girlish craft. I feel like anybody
No,
can claim knitting nowadays, you know?
that's true.
Why are you trying to enforce gender norms in this new era?
Well, you don't have to be a girl to do a girlish little craft.
I fall back to the wisdom of television legend and fictional character Ronald Swanson. I'm a man. By definition, anything I do is masculine. So if I knit, it's no longer what you would call a girlish craft. It would immediately become masculine because I, a man, am doing it. You see?
It could be your boyish little craft.
I don't do boyish things. I only do mannish things. I only do mannish. I couldn't even follow through on it. It was very. I feel like it was a good start, though. I feel like that was a solid start. Very well. Lawson, you got any girlish crafts you want to talk about? What a segue.
Daytona 500 was yesterday. Is that a girlish craft?
I don't know. Are there
Yeah,
women in it?
is.
None yesterday. There have been in recent years, but not.
I mean, by the Ronald Swanson fictional television legend, if a woman does it, it's automatically feminine by definition. So, I mean, what's her name, right? The only female racer I know, Danica Patrick. I remember seeing her saying something really fucking stupid lately, which is probably the only reason I remember her name.
I think that is something you could say about a lot of people.
Yes. All right.
Nope,
Let's look.
it was a good race. So Michael Jordan's team won. Tyler Reddick won.
You mean basketball legend and golf failure, Michael Jordan?
Yes.
This is the same Michael Jordan that's going to be on the scrolls based on his behavior that was caught today?
He's getting ice out of the kid's shirt.
Oh, listen, bro. All I have is 5-second YouTube thumbnail as I'm scrolling. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, Reddit detectives were going over it for literally 24 hours.
Yeah, well, Reddit detectives found the Boston bomber right up until they didn't.
They got like close-up shots of the ice falling out of the shirt and all that good stuff to go with. So
listen, there's if there's no reason to have beef with Michael Jordan, I got no reason to have beef with Michael Jordan. My beef with Shaq will be forever. All right,
I don't know the beef with Shaq.
brother.
Cena,
I thought Shaq was like a normal guy, and then I read about the horrifying pranks
the
that he.
hazing stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Poop buckets.
Yeah. He's a
dick.
Yeah, he's not a dick. He's sick. He's a sick fucking weirdo. We have better people to spend our time and energy on than Shaq. All right. Like even John Cena is above this guy. Remember that John Cena joke I pulled 2 weeks ago? It was fucking amazing. No, you don't remember it?
It was very funny.
That's because you didn't get a picture of him in the process. Hard to remember him without an associated picture. Any topics?
He's on the stream right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. I never did take his photo down. Jamie, pull that photo down. All right, thank you. Any topics you guys want to talk about before I start ranting? That includes you, audience.
I'm good.
All right, I got about 20 hours of Menace in on my second run. First run was less than 2 hours. And I did it in front of 4 or 5 people, and they watched me get fucking annihilated. I swear I got better after that moment. So my first run, Darby got caught in the open, and the AI just poured fire on her and murdered her, and then I revived her, and they tried to murder her again. And that whole run was cursed ever since then. I literally ran out of soldiers, so I started again. And I still led with Darby, but this time I was like, okay, Darby's special ability is if she shoots someone who has a special weapon, it cancels their ability to use their special weapon. So I made her extra stealthy. I gave her camo. I gave her match grade ammo. I gave her the ability that gives her longer range. And then I just set her as like a scout that would roam in front of my force. And then whenever she spotted somebody, she'd go into cover. And the rest of the force would like move laterally to surround that unit and then pour fire on them, and then she would dump fire from long range with a MMG to cancel their whatevers. And classic tech with a missile tube. And eventually I started getting the what's above the APC, IFV. I got the IFV for Kuta. And yeah, I don't know. I'm 20 hours in. I've uninstalled it now. Like, I'm not saying it's not fun, but it doesn't feel like there's very much. Once the Rogue Army showed up, I was like, oh, wow, the Rogue Army is going to be really tough. And then it turns out that, like, they're kind of not. Although the heavy machine gun truck showing up was very surprising. But once you get the medium tank cannon for the IFV, there's not really that much that can stand up to you. It just felt like I was kind of circling around. I need more content. Battle Brothers had an absolute shit ton of content. There's huge amounts of missions to do, a lot of flavor and quests. The map was huge. I'm sure they're going to cook with Menace, but right now, I felt like I was just kind of looping the same stuff. Once you understood that you needed to get intel and you needed to absorb manpower every mission so that you could start replacing your losses, things got a lot better. Spoon, as someone who I didn't know owned Menace, but took a long shot and guessed that you showed up late to Pendragon because of Menace, do you have anything to say about Menace?
I've been playing as well. I played the demo, so I had a bit of a head start in the tactics and things like that, things that work. So far, it's been pretty well. The only problem I'm running into is my squad leaders getting like weary and exhausted, and then absolutely being terrible in
Oh
battle.
yeah. I had to start buying 2 extra squads. So
Yeah. So, yep, that's also um that's what I've been doing. Like I just picked up a couple new squad leaders, and I've been cycling them out. I need a second infantry squad leader because I have 2 vehicle squad leaders. So,
I
you
mean,
know,
listen, I
I'm
had like
not much of a
5
follower.
pirate trucks. I had 2 different walkers. Although the medium walker only has a space for a medium gun, and it won't. So the APC and the IFV, you can put medium weapons and light weapons in its heavy spot, but on the medium walker and the light walker, you can't put anything but medium. And I didn't have anything medium except a ground radar, and I have to tell you, a walker with a ground radar is not functionally worth using. It's not worth 135 deployment to stick Bog out there.
Mm-hmm.
But if Kuta was unable to join the mission because she's exhausted, you just take her vehicle, give it to Bog, deploy him. He'll miss occasionally, but that's fine. I will say,
Yeah.
choosing growth potential early as the first pick on everybody made it so that at some point I was like over 100 AP on everyone, and they just stopped missing after like 20 or 30 missions.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's math out there about why it was a bad choice, but I'm a Fire Emblem player, so I know about growth potentials, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to be ready to fight the final boss at the end of the game. Now, I have 13 of the 15 achievements. I missed one. I think one of them was like do 20 operations, and the other one was called Meet the Menace. So I definitely haven't found the Menace yet, but I do feel like I've fully experienced the first wave early access of Menace. And I'll just wait till the game comes out. You know, I don't need to get trickled.
For sure.
Well, there's only so many tabletop actual plays I watch anymore, but I am pretty interested in the one that's coming out soon from MinMax RPGs. This one's kind of been flying under the radar. I occasionally watch Sellsword Arts. So these are guys that it's 2 sword instructors for HEMA who do takedowns of why anime characters don't know how to use their swords and why using 2 swords and then one in your mouth is all like a bad idea, or why Zabuza from Naruto is the worst swordsman in all of history. But apparently Sellsword Arts instructor Bensei, who is a Meteor Hammer teacher, Jack the Whipper, who I guess is a dude who puts on whip shows and was on America's Got Talent, and Blumenek, who is I probably watch him more than everybody else actually. He does explanations on how archery works from different perspectives, but he's also a pole dancing instructor, and so most of his archery videos also involve him hanging upside down from a tree hitting bullseyes. But he does things like, can you make a bow that is also an axe? Or can you split an arrow with another arrow? Shit like that. Why horseback archery was both good and bad. Stuff like that. So anyway, these guys got together with a game master and they are putting out a show called MinMax. I think it's going to be a LARP. So they statted themselves up. They've all chosen classes that relate to their area of specialization, right? Like the 2 Sellsword Arts guy, I think one of them's a fighter and the other's a barbarian. Jack's a whipper, I think, is a rogue. Blumenek, as you know, as a archery guy, is a ranger.
Jack Zwipper's a bard because
he's a bard. Yeah, that makes sense because he's a performer.
That's his whipping.
Yeah.
His whipping thing is he whips in the rhythm of things.
Out of all the people involved, I haven't seen any of his stuff. You know, I've seen more instructor Bensei. I've been watching him more now that MinMax has been hyping itself up. Again, episode 1 isn't out yet, but they started doing collab videos together. Bensei's he's crazy, dude. His Meteor Hammer skills are legit. He's like, can I take a random knife and turn it into a Meteor Hammer? And then he's like, cool. So I took this random shitty knife and made it penetrate 6 inches into the human body. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, can I hit someone in the eye with this from 20 feet away? And I'm like, there's no way he can do this on the first try, right? And he's like, bam, did it on the first try. And I was like, he did it on the first try? No, impossible. He did it. He's that good. He is that guy. I will say a lot of these channels have started doing, and by that I mean HEMA martial arts channels, have started doing things where they attack blocks of ice, which is kind of weird, but, you know, I'm sure it's topical in a way that I don't understand fully, but they're like, here, I'm going to slash this block of ice, and I'm like, great, cool. I'd rather you were hitting tatami mats, because that's kind of more traditional. What else? I'm caught up on Critical Role Vox Machina Season 3 or whatever. It was good. Was good. I mean, I've experienced all of, you know, Vox Machina. They had to make some pretty big changes in the first season, and now in Season 3, they're also having to make big changes because I guess they're completely abandoning the Scanlan does drugs and becomes a drug dealer plotline, which is really sad because I was honestly waiting for the Spice Man plot, and it became obvious pretty quickly once they got to Jaman Saward that they were not going to do that Spice plot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they've moved some stuff around, like Craven Shitter didn't happen in the correct timeline order and things like that, but yeah, it looks like they're just not going to do the Scanlan. I don't know how they're going to remove Scanlan from the party. I assume he's still going to have his epic rant about how no one knows his family, and but originally it was that he left to become a drug dealer with his daughter, and then rejoins after, I want to say, Darien Brigade, after that guy.
Harry Darrington.
Yes,
Darrington.
Darrington. Yes, when Darrington, he comes in and plays the robot guy, and then he leaves and Scanlan comes back for the end.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, Dottie, take this down. I also watched Mighty Nine, and I have to tell you, that was the departures from what actually happened. It's been a super long time since I've seen the first, few episodes of the Mighty Nine. It's pretty easy to tell that it's a complete departure from what actually happened. They definitely wanted to neaten up some storylines, but some of the characters have been completely changed. Ford is kind of more of a comedic, romantic figure. I think Molly Mock is probably the biggest travesty. For one thing, it's hard to say whether it's good or whether it's bad. Taliesin has had like 4 years to improve his Irish accent. It does mean he doesn't sound like Molly Mock anymore. He just sounds like someone doing a passably bad Irish accent rather than doing Molly Mock, which was a travesty against the Irish gods. But it was Molly Mock. The other thing is, Molly Mock was pretty infamous for never answering any question ever. So when in Mighty Nine, he's immediately like, I answered this question with a simple and direct answer. I was like, what the? Did you guys not watch your own show? I don't know. I mean, just quick pro tip for anyone that gets attached to Molly Mock, not that you should, they die pretty early on. They die and they're gone forever. Molly Mock will never come back. I want to be extremely clear about that. Don't get attached to Molly Mock. This is a joke, you see. It's funny, but only to the people that know the punchline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Mighty Nine was weird. They did make some really good additions. They did Vox Machina added a storyline where I don't think they added a story. They altered the storyline to include characters from, what's the one Brennan ran? Not Divergence, that's the second one. Calamity, yes. They added a character from Calamity in place of someone else, and that was pretty interesting. And then in Mighty Nine, they added Lou Wilson in as Nidus Okudo. So the thing was, they kept saying Nidus Okudo, and I was like, that name sounds so familiar. I can't remember who that is. And then they were like, here's a voice recording from Nidus Okudo, and I was like, that voice sounds so familiar. I just can't remember who this is. And then they showed the character, and they did the traditional Lou Wilson laugh, and I was like, fuck, it's Lou Wilson. That's Lou Wilson's character from Calamity. That was a nice addition. But it did completely change the whole entire storyline of Mighty Nine for that. And there are a bunch of other, like, minor revisions and things like that. And my biggest beef about Mighty Nine is they're going to treat Essek as a sad boy, just like the party did. Let's be very clear here. If you haven't seen Mighty Nine, there's a character named Essek who is essentially Mega Hitler, war criminal, super bomber. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much the worst person ever. And the party's like, he's so sad. we all love him, and look, Caleb is gay for him. And I'm like, he literally has killed hundreds, perhaps thousands of people in a mad quest for power, and he's constantly found to be lying all the time to you and to everyone. And they're like, no, he's sad, he has to do it because the pressures. And I'm like, I fucking hate Essek. I hate him so much. And they're like, but look, he constantly casts levitate, so he floats everywhere and he never walks. That's cool, right? And I'm like, I hate Essek. I hate him so much. And I knew they were going to make him a sad anime boy, and they were going to try to redeem him, and they can't because he's mega Hitler. He's the worst. And that is going to be the problem watching Mighty Nine, is anytime Essek's on screen, I'm going to be like, fucking this guy. I hate him. And I hate that the storyline is trying to redeem him. Because in the original storyline, he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of stopped watching Mighty Nine.
Campaign 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
I stuck with it.
Like right around the time that they went to like that, I kind of kept up with it, but I like stopped watching episodes. Right around the time, like shortly after they got back with, I think, the metal, the ore, or the like ingot for Ford's new sword.
Yeah.
That was like the last kind of big thing that I remember watching like full episodes of, and then I kind of just kept up on the major storyline points. So,
well, I
yeah,
bailed in season 3 right when they got to. There's a point in sorry, I said season 3, campaign 3, where they're like, remember our old characters from the other 2 campaigns? They're the main characters of this show now. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you remember Caleb and Vax? And I'm like, I do remember them. I'm not here to watch Caleb and Vax. I'm here to watch Liam O'Brien play his new character, the only member of this party who has any fucking common sense.
Yeah, where he plays the halfling.
Yeah. That's the point. It was like episode 50s or 60s or something where they were like, yeah, we're going to bring our old characters back. I completely bailed. Campaign 4 is dope, though. It definitely has some pretty intense moments where it's like, this is heavily dramatized. And then it's get back to Brennan sitting there going, so just to be clear, this world is not level adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this guy, his name is Sir Ultra Deathman Skullface Knight. And you should probably, I wouldn't say you should run, but he is the Imperial Lord of Death. And they're like, no, I think we can beat him. And he's like, you're not that guy. And they're like, I think we can beat him.
We can take him.
We can take him. If we all work together, we can take him.
This is a tabletop RPG system with bounded math. The math says you cannot win.
They made it work. I should definitely remember that name that I just said, write it down, and put it in Worlds Without Number. Wow, what a great transition to say that we have 2 new games that are spinning up. One of them spinning up faster than the other. This Sunday will be the first episode of the recording of our new podcast, Well of Ambition, a Worlds Without Number campaign. Although I did just learn that there is apparently, so that it's done by Sign Nominate Publishing, and it was written by Kevin Crawford. I own all of the other Kevin Crawford games, is a thing I thought, but apparently I missed one where you play it's called Wolves of Fate, maybe. You play post Saxon invasion Britain. You play like original Breton people who've been locked in sacred tombs by the Romans to keep them safe, and they come out of the sacred tombs after 100 years and find out the Romans just completely pieced out, and then Britain's completely overrun by Saxons, and now they have to use the power of the Christian God to drive out the invaders.
You mean Wolves of God?
Yes, that might be what it's called. I'd never heard of it until literally today.
Way more like Wolves of God.
Yeah, I never heard about it until today, but yes. What's the one that Penny Arcade did with Dogs in the Vineyard, which is the Mormon tabletop RPG?
Yeah, where you're gunslinger,
you play Mormon cowboys. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is actually legitimately much better than the description would imply.
Yeah, it's actually so good. Like, it's actually so good.
It's hard to describe
things.
why it's good based on the description of you play Mormon cowboys.
I saw a let's play of it, and I went, dude, this is wild. What is this system? And I went and bought it and read it, and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know that I can ever find someone to play this with me, but it is awesome. Yeah. The other system we're spinning up is Circuit, a Star Wars pod racing story with Taranaki, who's here with me now. I think. Is that Taranaki? Someone joined. It's Taranaki.
Yeah, it's Taranaki.
We're doing episode 0 in 2 weeks. So Patreon, keep a watch out for that. And yeah, we're going to play Down on Our Luck Criminals, who are putting their everything behind Dunamis as our main character as a pod racing pilot, and the rest of the crew who keeps his pod racer equipped, running, and making it between those races without getting shot, dying, or running out of money.
I'm actually really looking forward to this show. I think it's going to be very good.
Great. I'm going to be using almost all original Star Wars EU Legends shit, because I like that Star Wars lore better. So I'm throwing everything Mandalorian out, and we're going back to Zinj and the old Imperial Admiral system in the New Republic era. Comp Nor, the Bureau of Ships and Services, my favorite Imperial Bureau. Even the ISB can't hold a candle to the Bureau of Ships and Services. They're the secret masters of the galaxy. When people talk about deep state,
bureaucratic masters of the galaxy.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I was watching Fallout and people were like, the Enclave is deep state. And I immediately took my headphones off and got up and had to walk away. I was like, you can't. The Enclave is not deep state, you absolute fucking moron. The president of the United States cannot, by definition, be deep state. It's just state. There's nothing deep about it if the president runs it. King. I don't know. I mean, it all came out because of the new season of Fallout. I gotta say, it was the second half of the season was a little weak. It was pretty Deus Ex Machina. At least one character, it was like, oh, so they kind of just forgot about this character and needed to write a storyline to make sure they made it to the third season. It does look like everything is leading to a Fallout 5 set in Colorado, and it's all going to tie together in season 3 with the kickoff of Fallout 5. But I do have to say there was some pretty hype shit. Like, there's a moment in the Fallout New Vegas opening where an NCR veteran sniper shoots from a window, and they recreate that scene in the show, and it was really fucking cool. Ron Perlman guest stars and it does War Never Changes, and I was like, oh yeah, I was Leonardo DiCaprio with a cigarette and a beer staring at the television. I was like, holy shit, we haven't seen who this character is yet, but that voice, that's definitely Hellboy. I mean, Ron Perlman. In fact, he actually was just playing Hellboy. And it sounds like he's going to be a major character in season 3. And yeah, I don't know, they did a bunch of stuff in season 2 where they were like, this person's the bad guy, but they sad boy Essexed it the whole way. They were like, this person's the bad guy, but actually they were being manipulated by someone else. And I was like, okay, they still chose to do horrendous things. Like, I get it. They were being blackmailed and threatened, but also they are the face of, mega Hitlerism. And YouTube annotations are going to have a real tough time.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have here? I have more to say about playing new games, but I do want to step aside and say that I did play a new game today. It was called Control, and it's okay. I think that for people who want like an SCP paranormal eldritch experience, it's probably really good. The non-Euclidean of it really super bothered me. I wasn't like, oh, whoa, that was super cool. I was like, I can see an office room that has no doors, and I'm not like, this is an eldritch mystery. I'm like, some fucking architect designed this building and they're just really stupid. Sometimes you'll see stuff flickering at the edge of the camera and you're supposed to be like, oh, and I'm like, well, this is just clearly, like a camera filter trick. Or you'll be looking at text and the text will change and I'm like, this is just annoying. Like, I don't know. I get it and I understand why people could like it. I'm not trying to complain too much about it just to complain. But it just was, it's not for me. Control is not for me. It has a very strange style of storytelling and I feel like there's a lot to say there. But the collectible system also, how do I say this? How do I say this without gassing up Naughty Dog too much? So when you collect pieces of information and data and paperwork in The Last of Us and Last of Us 2, you physically pick it up. You can look at it, you can manipulate it, and you can turn it around. You know what I mean? When you do that in Control, you don't see anything about it. It just goes into your inventory and you have to go through a bunch of menus in order to read it. And I'm like, I'm creeping through a haunted fucking ghost FBI building. I don't know that every 5 steps I want to be opening the menu to read these documents. Like, it should just give me a summary or something, or it should let me physically pick them up. Because I'm going to go around the corner, I'm going to have to shoot ghosts in the face. I don't want to be monkeying around the menus. It's just not a good... I'm a hater. I hate this game design. I want to believe in it. Which soundly leads me to, after I beat Menace, I'm looking for a new game. And I don't just mean like a new game to play. I don't know. I want something else to get me through this semi-charmed kind of life. Like, Power World was a completely fucking new way of playing Pokemon. It's insane. I can't wait for 1.0. Having beat Factorio and Satisfactory, I'm trying to get into other factory building games, and I'm like, these are all just derivatives of those 2 games. Yeah, I like Stardew Valley a lot. Beat it twice. I played Sunhaven, didn't like it as much, but still liked it plenty. And now every 3 days there's a new Stardew Valley that comes out, and they're derivative. And I don't mean that like, oh, they're just exactly like it. They are exactly like it, but they miss the things that made that game fun. They don't add anything new, and they miss the point of the game. I just want new games, I guess. I'm tired of playing the same stuff over and over again. Try to get back into old Final Fantasy games and shit that I've always played. I'm sitting here looking at Mountain Blade, and I'm like, yeah, I'll enjoy the game for like 5 hours. And there's no way I'm not going to be happy when I hear that sound of a lance being perfectly couched and then hitting a peasant for 400 damage and watching his torso explode. But then it's going to get into like really deep management, and it's going to be like, oh, we're here to punish you because you're not from our country. You're not a lord. You're not a high enough ranked lord. It's just going to be a series of systems. You're going to go on a long range journey to Pokemon, catch them all, recruits from every different county. And then they're going to, half of them will die on the trip. And then you're just not going to be able to assemble the super army that's really specific that you want. And you're just going to end up playing Kurgat archers, horse archers, and running in a circle again. So rather than reinstall Mountain Blade 2, I decided to just pass on it because I know how that's going to go. I don't know. I just want new type of games, man. It just feels like a lot of the games that are coming out are just copies of older games over and over again. I got to tell you, when Microprose came out, Carrier Command 2 was fucking hot. That shit was incredible. And now they're literally just re-releasing Mech Warrior 2. And like, I feel like Microprose 100% is endemic of what I'm talking about. Actual swings to make new stuff that's good and fun are not being taken. I will now open the floor for discussion. Great. Oh, something to say, have you, Master Qui-Gon?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So. As long as we're hopping back to tabletop actual plays, I have finally gotten mostly caught up on Worlds Beyond Number, The Wizard, The Witch, and The Wild One. It's pretty good. I stopped for a while because I was haterating, but I have to tell you, Lou Wilson doesn't always get an opportunity in Fantasy High to like do epic moments and be a character actor because he's solidly committed to playing a Pinocchio-style comedic character. But the entire sequence of, I want to say it's episode 49, or maybe it's 50, where we go from...
I know what you're talking about.
It's everything from the fate of Sir Curran to Naram Arrives. Naram Arrives was fucking incredible. The music was unbelievable. Naram arrived, and I was like, oh, okay. The sea has come, Brennan. The sea has come. Okay, Brennan. The sea has come, I suppose. And it did. It did show up. It's pretty good. The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One. Although I there's a huge drag around when they get to the Citadel. Shit gets kind of slow, and one of the characters just ignores dice rolls. And I was so pissed off at it, I stopped watching. When they were like, I'd like to make an insight check, and they failed, and they were like, great, I failed the insight check. I do the thing I said I was going to do before I did the insight thing. And then I also do this thing that I clearly have intuited as a player, but my character hasn't. And I was like, why make the dice roll if you're just going to fail and then do it anyway? Why? I'm so mad. I'm malding, bro. But we live in a Dimension 20-less time. We don't even know what the next show's going to be. Gladlands just ended. That was a weird one, for sure. Definitely not my favorite Dimension 20 series, but it's not as bad as the one with Alaska Thunderfuck.
Yeah.
My least favorite one.
Yeah. I was thinking about, and I guess aside from his initial run as Fabian, he doesn't yet. I mean, you're right. He doesn't get a ton of like
dramatic character moments
to be like, yes, this is like he does get some as Kingston.
I mean, he gets some in I want to say it's Mischief. It's the one where they make fun of Harry Potter. It's a bunch of American students show up at a British magical boarding school. He gets to play a hype man in that.
Yeah, like and he has one as Nidus.
Sure, that's not technically a Dimension 20 show, but I agree that Nidus is definitely dope as fuck.
Like in the main run of Dimension 20, basically it's like Fabian and Kingston are his two like.
Now hold on, you're forgetting King Rocks. He got some pretty epic moments.
For sure. All right. Okay. Never mind.
But like never after he played fucking Pinocchio and he was like, I'm gonna chew some bubble gum and drink some fucking bourbon. I'm a little boy. Yeah. I lie all the time. I'm the Prince of Schuberg. And the guy goes, you can't be the Prince of Schuberg. I'm the Prince of Schuberg. He goes, I'm the Princess Schubert. Faye and
Yes.
Flowers. Now, I will say, Faye and Flowers, he was also playing a hype man as a comedic character. I feel like there was some depth to it, but he definitely decided that he was whatever energy Emily was gonna do, he was gonna hype her back twice as hard. And she apparently went in saying she was going to do the same thing to him, and they just started glazing each other the whole time. It was Colton! It was so funny. But the Ballad of the Green Hunter is legendary. I mean, I didn't think they could get who plays Barkley from the MCU, Jeremy Renner. I didn't think they could get Jeremy Renner on Dimension 20, but they did.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I think, Spoon, you have a lot of overlap personality wise with Lou, and the episode 49 was definitely the most this something Spoon would do moment for me. I was literally like, oh, we're gonna Sir Curran then, huh? And he's like, all right, I will pull out Wavebreaker, and I was like, oh, this is such a King Arthur Pendragon moment for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Taranaki, we have less than 4 minutes to discuss your character ideas for Star Wars. As promised. Speedrun, what do you got for me?
Just thought I'd join in. I usually fill up intro out pretty well, so I was like, I'll just join, and if for some reason he has time, great, and if not, I can enjoy listening to.
I mean, we could do it immediately afterwards, but I feel like if I force you in the next 2 minutes and 51 seconds to spit out character ideas, I can accomplish something.
Perfect. Yeah, of course, trying to fit everything in. I feel like the most important role for my character to fill is the one that provides a physical force to the group, and then trying to find ways to be effective outside of that without spreading myself too thin. So, like brawn and cunning, brawn and willpower, brawn and presence combinations.
Are you still going to play a Wookiee Doctor again?
Narratively feels makes sense. No, I don't think so.
Wookiee Doctor.
I mean, he played a Wookiee Doctor in the playtest.
In the one shot. Are you pretty familiar with the Fantasy Flight game Star Wars system?
I am decently familiar. I've played a game with some friends in the past for a few months, and but I'm not a master of it by any means.
Okay.
So trying to get a feel for what the balance is, and not trying to, with only 3 people, not trying to overlap too many either skills or even like characteristics too much, because there's kind of a lot that we need to be able to do as a small group.
Yeah, you got a broad.
It's like if there's too many people with intelligence, it's like, okay, we're really good at fixing this thing and hacking people, but like we can't, talk to anyone and get anything done. Or it's like, oh, we got really great presence, so like, we're all really charismatic, but now we don't know anything about the underworld, which we're trying to like make our way around in.
So are you going to be the guy who knows about underworld and punch people guy?
Yeah, that's kind of the way.
You're going to be a straight criminal. Very well.
Leaning either that or like punch people and willpower, just like, and maybe the underworld is like, I have the skills there, but maybe not the characteristics to back it up. So some more sketchy roles when it comes to that.
Audience, I'm about to do something I've never done before. I'm authorizing extra runtime on the intro hour to continue to discuss this character.
Could be session 0.0.
I mean, you clearly have more to say, have you, Master Qui-Gon? We haven't discussed anything specific, but there are plenty of talent trees in Edge of the Empires that will allow you to intimidate people. It sounds like you're not going to be a leadership trooper style character.
Perhaps like there's, the way to influence a racer is kind of limited out for a pod race. You're not in the ship.
Sure.
There's opportunities to make repairs during pit stops, but you can't like shoot weapons or spoof missiles inside the ship.
I mean,
how do
I'm
you
gonna be
boost them.
so the
But weapons are a thing, right? So like, hey, you're gonna get attacked like this, do that. Like that feels like a way to boost someone.
episode 1 literally has an assassin waiting at the Buna Eve Classic with a sniper rifle that's very clearly in a shot. Who are the guys with the gaffy sticks that walk in single file to hide their numbers? The Tusken Raiders. They show up at pod races and just shoot at people. Yeah, I mean, like the reason Sebulba was able to get away with slamming his pod racer into people and flaming out their engines with his ridiculous super flame thing was the lore stated reason. Now, I haven't read the lore in 20 years, but the old reason that maybe Disney hasn't updated was that he knew where all the cameras on the Tatooine track, specifically the Buna Eve Classic, were, and that he would just do it wherever there weren't cameras. But, again, classic pod racer, Sebulba at the beginning of the Buna Eve Classic straight up disables Anakin's pod racer by just ripping a part off. Are you that guy? Are you the Amos Burton of this game? Do you walk up to the other pod racers as they're lining up and intimidate them and then disable their pod racer so that they have a bad start? You know what I mean? How you're a big, brawny, punchy guy. How big, brawny, and bad are you, Taranaki? How bad are you, motherfucker? Do you wear a Samuel L. Jackson motherfucker belt buckle?
Listen, here.
Yeah.
The book you want. Dangerous Covenants.
No, absolutely not. Spoon, leave. No splat books.
That's okay.
No
Okay.
splat books. Tor only.
Bummer.
The splat books are really powerful because they want you to spend extra money to buy them because they're powerful.
I was actually going to suggest one of the weaker specializations in the book.
Very well.
But
the answer's still no, but I'm not going to yell.
Okay. That's fine. Well, I guess me getting up to go get the book was
Who asked? Who asked? This is you weren't at episode 0 because it hasn't happened yet. You didn't even know what we would allow.
Listen, I was just gonna say, because based on the vibe I'm getting from this character, I'm getting like a big strong tough guy vibe. There's a specialization called Enforcer.
Interesting.
What I was gonna say.
Yeah, great minds think alike, Rad. But I mean, you're not wrong. If you like this, like the splint books do get, there's definite power creep in them. Like literally, they add ultimate abilities.
Yes, the Smuggler Splat book literally lets you use any skill. You can just replace it with your charisma, which as a smuggler should be quite high. Once per session. You just roll with your best.
I mean, some of them are very cool and flavorful. Like I love the one from the Hired Gun book where it's like, hey, I in this encounter, I spend a turn. I think it's to make like a resilience check, and you gun down all of the mooks, like all of the
minions.
I forget what they're called.
Yeah,
all the minions, and they just die. which is very cool, and that's very cool for a dude with like a big gun or like a big sword.
That's very cool.
And it's it's very fitting, and like usually by the time you get those, your campaign is being pretty close to being over.
Well, Taranaki,
Theoretically,
rather than talk mechanics, let's talk role play. What are you thinking? Are you
And then
hired security? Are you somebody's Vigo? Are you someone's cousin? How'd you stumble into this life?
sure. So there's two backstories that I'm considering. One
Death stick
is
dealer. Yeah, got it.
one is like a guy that he kind of ends up in, like, he's associated with the separatists, ends up being hunted down as kind of like the Imperials take over, and then someone from the crime world kind of like with positive separatist thoughts, but it's like I can harbor them kind of in in the outer rim doing.
Of course, Count Dooku was a visionary.
I'll be fine there, and then exactly. And so when the Empire kind of falls apart and pod racing is a thing, this criminal's love of pod racing has kind of seeped into this person that they were able to save, and so they they don't make it for whatever reason, and so as kind of an homage to this person that saved them, they're like, all right, I'm gonna get into pod racing now that it's a thing again, and we're gonna live out this guy's dream. And then just kind of using the skills, connections you would have from the underworld to kind of make that happen in racing. The other one is like a guy that was an up and coming racer, but when the Empire took over / the separatists kind of separated from the Republic, they their dreams were shattered as like their world went to war, and they were called to do military type service, and eventually fell out of that into the crime world and are just like kind of a washed up old racer that is trying to relive the glory days many years later through this young and upcoming pilot team.
The Doc Hudson character.
Right. Yeah, there have been a lot of Cars references in our channel.
Or like Uncle Rico,
Yeah, I definitely had to go watch Cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have...
I'd never seen it, so I watched it.
Oh, really?
Yes. I mean, why would I watch Cars? It's not exactly up my aisle. But when I asked people for good sports movies, especially racing movies, Cars kept coming up.
Yeah. I see, like, when you're talking about this character, I see like a big dude who kind of maybe is like a mechanic and carries a big wrench. Like
right. It kind of made his dues, driving / repairing in the underworld, but is he's got a big old beer belly because he just kind of drinks away the past that never happened.
See. Interesting. So either way, you're going to be a guy who commits to violence, but are you is it how you make the monies? Do you do hits on people on the side? By that I mean murders.
Yeah, that's
Are you a murderer?
Yeah, interesting.
Like your
I suppose neither
pod racer / soldier character, does he do killings? Right? He's probably been trained.
Yep. Yeah, to make people go away.
How dark is this going to be?
And then leave, and it'd be fine.
Wait, did Rad show up and then he left? I feel like I heard him.
Very
briefly.
He showed up to agree with me and then he left.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. That sounds right for sure.
Paid actor. Paid actor Rad.
Oh, amazing. So Dunamis has just presented 3 full characters.
I saw that too.
I gotta go take the dogs out and go to bed.
Fine, do
So,
whatever you want.
This has been fun.
I don't want to extend the intro hour anyway.
Thank you, Spoon.
Bye.
Lawson, any questions you have for Taranaki about his 2 potential characters idea for Circa the Star Wars pod racing story?
None at this time.
Any commentary from the 2 of you about anything we've talked about so far?
None at this time.
I see Lawson has entered his
I have a friend
taciturn
that
and
produces
sullen.
real plays,
Yeah?
so I can make a recommendation for one. I haven't yet consumed the other one.
Yeah?
It is there's a podcast, From Afar podcast. They are searching for Atlantis. Yeah,
Looks like it's on Spotify.
It is likely on Spotify, yes. So it is it's like they roll the dice, but they're kind of happy to move things along. You're not super worried about characters coming to terrible fates, although they do come to terrible fates at the end of season 1.
I mean, I love people coming to terrible fates.
I know.
Now, what do you mean by that? Because I know what I mean, but I want to know what you mean by that.
Terrible fates. I suppose it's this is something that he would talk about kind of with in the community is like, like one of these characters, they are a tragic hero, and like, do I take them down the tragic hero path, or do I let them kind of find redemption, even though normally a character arc with this type of person wouldn't be able to do that. They'd be trading them, like their redemption would ultimately cost them everything to kind of have that last moment of like,
okay, Odysseus, relax,
or that one thing. Exactly. Yeah, the tale is old as tales. And so it's just like, how much do you want to embrace that trope or try to counteract it in a way that's actually interesting and not just like everyone wins at the end.
I don't know, man.
Congratulations, friends. We did it. You all won. So
I know this is going to be very contrary to literary discourse, but I always find it very strange when people are like, well, I want to do this trope. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to slam my head against the wall. Please stop saying this trope or that trope. If you have a story you want to tell or ways that you've established the character communicates and expresses the world, do that. But don't just be like, oh boy, this is a real hero's journey moment for me. Every time I hear that, I want to slam my head against the wall. Save tropes for when someone's like, all right, that's it. It's time for a Xanatos Gambit. Because then I'm like, oh boy, Xanatos Gambit time. But every time I hear about tropes instead, it's like, oh boy, it's time for hero's journey. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, people have, dissected the hero's journey for like 6,000 years, bro. There's nothing original you're going to come up with. Please stop talking about it as a trope. Please stop talking about how you're going to do it. Just, I don't know. Maybe I'm too infected by the writing styles of George R. R. Martin and Brandon Sanderson, but what if you just wrote in characters who do stuff and you let them do things rather than pre-decide what tropes are going to execute on their behalf and how the story will go. Now, of course, we can't get fucking George to finish anything, but
he has no interest in finishing Winds of Winter.
So he's out there and he's like, I'm a gardener. I let these characters grow. And I'm like, great. Finish gardening.
Yeah.
Pick this harvest, motherfucker. Stop growing corn in the corner, all right? I get it. Dragons and incest makes you a lot of money. Finish Winds of Winter, you son of a bitch. Get back to the tomato fields. Two different miniseries now. I guess at this point, House of the Dragon isn't even a miniseries; it's a full series. But I can't wait for them to fuck up Knights of the Seven Kingdom as well. I can't wait. People seem so hyped about it, and I'm sure it's going to end up like House of the Dragon, where in the end everyone will be really disappointed.
Expectations on that universe are just so high, and it can't end anywhere but failure, unless it doesn't.
I mean, here's
Like
the thing, though, is that we don't talk about how Game of Thrones includes elvish space aliens. But they're in the main story, so it's really like just barely mentioned in like one or two sentences. But you know, like, is Cthulhu real? Yes, and probably he's coming to Old Town. You know what I mean? Like, the shows have really downplayed the fact that George R. R. Martin is like, magic is real and it's fucking awesome and it's everywhere and it's being used all the time. And in fact, all the events that I've talked about are all ancient battles between different sets of immortal super beings that are all playing speed chess with each other. And you know, this thing between the Lancasters and the Starks, sorry, the Lannisters and the Starks, is just the smallest piece of a larger battle in the greater war. The real question is, are the they're not called White Walkers in the books. That's a show invention. Are the others the bad guys? Is a great question that you have to ask yourself. It's hard for a show watcher to understand that because they don't actually do very much in the books. You know, they kind of tend to their own land, and yeah, they have special ice powers, but they're also super intelligent, immortal beings who are intent on creating perfection. And they don't, you know, kill dragons and invade the South. That hasn't happened yet. They're kind of really nebulous. Yeah.
Yeah, we really don't know much about them in the books.
Maybe we'll learn more when we meet Sir Maynard Plum in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. My favorite character. Oh, Sir
We'll learn
Maynard.
more about them when George R. R. Martin dies and Brandon Sanderson finishes the series for him.
I mean, they've addressed that and have both authors have explicitly rejected that.
Yeah, I know.
Look, Sanderson did a great job landing. He did a great job landing Robert Jordan's series, Wheel of Time. But Robert had basically written Wheel of Time and, you know, told his wife what the ending was, wrote out all of the major plot points, and was basically like, if I die, give it to Brandon. He'll land this bitch. And he did.
He'll actually finish these books.
Yeah. Wife, I know that we've written a lot of the weird, kinky sex stuff that we do into these books. And if we'd written less of it, maybe I would have finished them in time. But I'll never forget all of the stuff that we do in real life being written into this book.
That's funny. And it's like our sex life can live on through Sanderson's words.
Oh my God. No, they live on. No. Let's be clear here. Mormon missionary Brandon Sanderson did not write extra sex stuff into the last 3 books. Robert Jordan wrote it into the first 12. Let's be very clear. He did some weird stuff, brother.
No, I know. Yeah, you kind of think back.
Brandon Sanderson had trouble writing a scene that was like, the Princess Serene gave a chaste kiss to the mysterious man. The two of them blushed and turned away. It's only in like the last 2 years that he was like, these two characters had buck naked, nasty sex in the shower. And people were like, oh my God, Brandon has discovered sex. Oh, Brandon Sanderson.
If only there was a soaking scene in one of his earlier books. That would have really driven to the point.
Jesus. My God. Okay, we're done. We're done here for the night. Thanks for Taranaki for showing up and bringing that curse. Next week, he'll be back to explain docking to us. That's a Dimension 20 reference if I've ever heard one.